Hi everybody, thanks for joining me for another video blog. This is a blog to my friends at Steps. We had a great time this week in a 2-hour session discussing energy management and stress management in order to achieve and sustain high performance. Studies show that stress is the biggest block of high performance. So as a performance coach, it's a must for me to talk about energy management and stress management. So I want to share here something that we didn't have time to cover, and this video will serve everybody, which is a system I created of the 3 habits to stay in your zone of genius during stress. So number 1, let's define what is the zone of genius, the zone that you can tap into your superpowers. That zone is a zone that you can stay calm, clear mind. You can tap into your creativity. You work well with your community, with your team. You have emotional fitness to communicate well. You are strong and you are courageous. So all the superpowers basically diffuse or cancel the fear that can come in times of high stress. Because, fear is just another word for stress and vice versa. When we go to that place of stress and overwhelm, we are in a state of fear. And if we want to talk about biology, fear or stress, overwhelm, whatever you're going through that is going to create tension in your body or fear, your brain understands as a threat. Any type of word that you want to use under stress, your brain just understands threat. So we need to, as a high performer, we need to apply tools every day to manipulate our psychology and our physiology. And these 3 habits do that. They manipulating our thoughts, and also they manipulating our biology or physiology to keep us in that state of genius. Because if we go into that state of fight or flight, which is a reactive mind, we actually shut down parts of our executive brain, that part of our brain, prefrontal cortex, that makes good decisions. The fight-flight response is an incredible response that saves our lives. But let's face it, the stress that we deal with every day, especially as achievers, entrepreneurs, team leaders, has nothing to do with a threat that it's related to saving or to put our life in danger. All the stress we go through is all psychological stress related to work especially. So let me share these 3 habits with you that can really help you to deal with times of stress and stay in the zone of genius. I teach this to my clients and I apply this to myself every time I go into a place of stress or fear, which is kind of the same thing. So number 1 habit, it's pause. So let's say you're having a great day or you're already in a place of a little bit of overwhelm and a surprise comes, like your boss yelling at you, a client or a customer brings some emotional drama into your life, or you just lose a big client, whatever that stress is. Before you write the email, before you pick up that phone, before you send a text message or step out of your office taking that anger that frustrates somebody, pause. And just assess the situation from a place of empowerment, a place that you tell yourself right away, I can handle this. I got this. When you tell your brain that, you instantly taking control, because one of the top reasons we get in a state of overwhelm or high reaction, it's because we feel we don't have any control or we're not in charge of the situation. And we always are. We don't have control of what's happening outside ourselves, but we have absolute control to influence how we want to respond to a situation. That's why I always say it's not the stress that kills us, it's our response to a stress. And that's not just me, it's neuroscience, it's psychology. So just pause. Number 2, unfocus. So a lot of times, if you can take some time to deal with this stressful situation. In other words, if you have the choice of time, sometimes you can have 10 minutes, sometimes you can have a day to resolve something. Go do an activity that is completely unrelated to your problem. If you play an instrument, go play your instrument for 5 minutes or an hour if you can. If you can exercise, go hit the gym. Talk to a friend who maybe needs your help. Helping somebody is always a great way to get out of our head and put our attention into somebody else's needs. Go play with your dog, go play with your baby, whatever. You define whatever activity might work for you to get your mind off that problem. So what that will do will help you to tap into your right brain, your creative mind, and all of a sudden you can come up with insight. How many people come with insights in their shower? I come with great insights in my long walks or when I'm mountain biking, for example, because I'm not thinking about the problem. Remember, you cannot use the same mind that created the problem to resolve the problem, right? So unfocus. And the third one, you all know well, breathe. The breathing part is an amazing tool to manipulate your physiology. So when you pause, you're basically manipulating your psychology and your physiology. You just slowing down all the rush that's going through your head. By unfocus, you're really manipulating your psychology. Try to tap into the right brain. And with the breath, sometimes we can't just use words of empowerment or even talk to somebody. Sometimes we really need to rely on our own biology or physiology. And when you take deep belly breaths, you expand, you take a deep breath in, expand your belly, and then exhale. When you do that, you're basically sending a message to your brain, chill out, everything is fine. And why is that? Imagine if you're running to save your life. Your breathing rate gets very rapid, your heart rate goes up. You cannot take deep belly breaths and be in a state of high stress at the same time. So when you do deep belly breathing, you are turning on your parasympathetic system, which is basically your relaxing system. And you're not going to relax to the point that you're just going to fall asleep. You're just going to relax enough to turn off that crazy sympathetic system that is turning on your high stress response. And basically with these habits, you just trying to turn off that stress response so you stay in the zone of genius where you can tap into your superpowers. So those are my tips for you to use it. Please apply. And I have found that these habits really help me and help my clients. We love your comments and feedback. And I just want to wish you a great weekend. I'll talk to you very soon.